Do you or your little one spend a lot of this time of year sneezing, having itchy eyes, or feeling a bit miserable? If so, this one's for you. Hopefully you can have a nice summer with a few of these handy tips for hay fever. We know that grass pollen is the main culprit at this time of year, and don't be fooled into thinking that it's coming to an end, because grass pollen can extend right into the July-August period. So the key message is to be as prepared as possible. Firstly, make sure you've got enough antihistamines. It sounds silly, but make sure you're taking them consistently, make sure you're taking them every day. If you're going on a long trip or you're going abroad, make sure you've got enough. Don't rely on the pharmacies having what you need, especially when you're going abroad. Making sure that if you're struggling, making sure that you're maximising your therapy. So sometimes an oral antihistamine isn't going to be enough. Sometimes you need to be adding in things like the saline rinses, perhaps not very good for children, but certainly things like Steroid, if you're an adult, using the daily sort of saline salt rinses can help kind of wash out those pollens and reduce the nasal symptoms. Some people find a nasal steroid quite helpful, and some of these can be used in children as well, and they can really help you in that pollen season. If you're getting really itchy eyes, then making sure you're using the eye drops. Sunglasses can also protect the pollen getting in the eyes. That's one key thing, making sure you've got enough medication and making sure you've got enough, especially when you go abroad. We also know that hay fever can set off asthma. We often do see them together. So making sure that you or your child has got your inhalers, especially important if you're going abroad. Don't rely on them having the same medication. So making sure that you've got your reliever, and if you want a preventer inhaler, making sure you've got that as well. The other thing is being prepared, check the pollen count. It sounds a bit silly, but you'll have some days where the pollen count is higher. You'll find those nice sunny, windy days are particularly bad for pollen. So perhaps on those days, don't go on the big field trips, maybe stick to places that aren't covered in grass. I know that's quite difficult when you're with the children, but perhaps sort of planning your activities around that. If you do have to go to these places, or you've got some trips planned, then things like using your air conditioning, make the most of that in the car, keeping the doors and windows closed as much as possible, because the pollens can get in really quickly. And then when you get back from the trip, washing your hair, washing your clothes, so those pollens aren't sticking to you. So hopefully you can go to bed and not wake up really bunged up. And that's another time where using those saline nasal sprays in the evening can help as well, because you're washing all the pollen out, which can be really useful. So I think the key message is to be prepared, check the pollen count. If you can avoid really grassy areas on days the pollen count is high, then that's brilliant. If you can't, just making sure you're washing all that pollen off and keeping your windows closed. Making sure you've got enough medication, really planning ahead, antihistamine, saline rinses, steroid nasal sprays, eye drops, and of course if you've got concurrent asthma, making sure you've got your inhalers. And hopefully you'll get a bit of relief this summer and you'll be able to enjoy those nice summer days. If you are continuing to struggle despite maximum therapy, then it might be worth considering allergy testing and looking at things like sublingual immunotherapy, which we can help you with, and it can be a good long-term option. And if that's something you want to come and talk to us, please do. Always happy to help. Happy holidays, and if you need us, you know where we are.